Sitaram, Namaste, Salam. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Curry Stew, the Chutney podcast. This is episode 6, and yes, we're stewing things up in a whole different way. For this particular episode, we're going in a different direction in terms of maybe putting everything that we said in the past in all our 5 episodes that we did before and giving you now one of the main solutions, at least, what we think may be a main solution to fixing some of these issues and problems and getting everything right. And I have my perspective, and Dissimo, he has his perspective as well.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Richard Dissimo. Thank you very much for joining us. And yes, we do have an idea. It's very cool. So if anybody's looking for a business idea, this just might be the one for you. And we just handed it to you all. And yes, it deals with the chutney industry. And we are very, very happy to share some ideas with you. And it's just something that we just came up with, and was like, basically Big Daddy came with an idea and I just kind of ran with it. And okay, let's see where it goes. So let's see what the idea is, Big Daddy. Let me hear.
Well, of course, it's not something that I'm inventing out of nowhere. It's, of course, been done before. It's called the workshop, right? A music workshop. In our case, I don't think we've ever had a chutney workshop, a workshop that, specifically deals with chutney music and all its subgenres. And when we say workshop, we're talking about, a sort of conference where we bring together all the technocrats, the people involved in the industry, the writers, the singers, the musicians, all those people who are in the support staff, those that chip in whatever way they chip in, those that assist with getting the production done, the videos, everything. We have a workshop, a conference where we, put the best of the best, the experienced ones, and they are the ones who will now be talking to the younger musicians and artists and writers coming up and saying, all right, this is the sort of structure that you should follow. Nobody can really tell you, exactly how to write or exactly how to sing or how to play a particular instrument the exact perfect way, but they will guide you. They're all going to guide these artists and singers and writers and everybody else with a basic structure so that we don't kind of like go all over the place, and we don't have this kind of sound that is so choppy and different every time you hear a chutney, or every time you hear a chutney soca traditional. It's so different, and sometimes you hear a good quality song in terms of production. Sometimes the production is awful. Sometimes you hear some lyrics that you feel shouldn't be in a song in terms of maybe too hardcore, or maybe, at whatever end of the scale that you find is sort of like, not really for that particular type of song. And you feel that everything should be, within a certain zone. Not saying that we want to control anybody with this workshop, or, you want to put it in a way where you have to do it that way, but just general guidance as to how to go about things within the industry. I mean, that is my perspective.
All right. So we're looking at chutney music workshop. Of course, when we say music, okay, we could extend into video as well.
Right.
Chutney music videos. So anything for chutney music, a workshop. So a workshop will entail, as you mentioned, writing. So you could have like sub parts of it that goes into like a writing camp kinda, or like a writing workshop, as you said.
Right.
Yeah. Then you could have something for music videos, how to, you'll speak with music video directors and maybe even cameramen and the artists to let them know what are some of the angles that they could take to execute a well-produced and recorded music video. Then we could have music production, speak with producers, speak with aspiring musicians and producers, and get them either trained or let them know what are some of the new technologies and practices that are out there right now.
Right.
And what else could we get guidance on? What else do you think?
Well, even from the marketing aspect, we didn't really touch on that, but I'm sure that, there are a lot of artists out there and people within the industry that need to know how to, they really need to know how to market their product and market their service as well too, because you find like you don't know all the writers in the industry off the top of your head. You don't know all the musicians. You might just have to kind of like by word of mouth, you kind of find out, well, this one does dolak, that one does dantal.
Or like market yourself to people who can assist you with your project. Then, okay, right.
From that
aspect, you're speaking
about.
All right, okay.
No, from that aspect, and then from the finished product, when the actual singer has to do marketing for his song or her song, and sometimes that the marketing is not up to scratch, up to standard. We see a lot of artists just don't know how to handle the socials and the other forms of marketing. So I think that as well, we bring in people there who could say, well, all right, you should have a certain base of how you market your music and how you market your service.
So it's no longer just take your song to the radio station and that does it. And say, I hand it to Big Daddy. He go play it.
No, and the thing is, there are a lot of artists, even up to now, and somebody, I don't want to call any territories per se, but there are a lot of artists out there that they feel that they just, they do one radio release, 2 radio releases, and that's it. You ain't get this song. They will tell it, but you ain't get this song. But I released that. Did you release it by us? And no, I just went by X, Y, and Z, and I say, well, everybody what I get. Come on, man. That is ridiculous. You have to be able to cover all your bases. You have to know what the entire market consists of.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well. Yeah, we've gone way, way, way past that now, especially with being online and social media and different news outlets. Yeah, we really need to step up our game when it comes to those kind of things. But I think what you were starting off with, music workshop for Chutney Music especially, is that we need to have the right product first.
Right.
So it's not about saying, okay, we're going to take this and make it our product, so it will be the right product, right? Or if I take a Bollywood song and sing it over, then that's good, right? Because it's a Bollywood song, so it good, right? So I think we need to move away from those kind of thoughts and try and understand that just because something comes from Bollywood does not mean that it's good and that you will sound good, copying it or covering it or doing it over. That does not mean that at all. Don't go to the producer and say, just load me up with the auto-tune, tune up my voice, and I going down, man. Even though my voice sounded like gravel on top of water, then going under the water, and then lying on the sand. We can't move like that. We have to be able to have a good product first before we think about shipping it out. So I'm really happy that you brought up that point about basically networking then. Getting your network expanded. And when we say networking, we mean that being able to communicate and meet with other creators in your industry or even out of it, where you could establish some sort of link where if you are not able to, let's say, write Hindi lyrics, or you may not be able to produce your own song, you could be able to network with somebody and say, okay, this producer is a part of my network. You don't have to have one producer. You could have many, or you could work with any and everybody that you are comfortable with, which is fine. So, I really like that idea about the networking. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of networking that happens in the industry, but sometimes it's always based on people who you've worked with prior. And that these artists know all the different people within the industry, but sometimes due to various reasons, they don't want to expand that network, right? So they may have the networking going on within a small network, a small sort of closed circuit, but they don't want to expand, and that I sense could be an issue going forward, because where the industry is now, fine, it may be at a level where they just everybody's catering for that industry within the market, right? Within the small little market. But how you've spoken about expansion in the past, if you want to expand, you want to go there and do different things, different markets around the world, you will have to expand your network as well too. You'll have to work with other producers, other writers. You'll want to get a different kind of sound because you don't want your sound to be just one sound all the time. I mean, I've heard many other artists and other genres who I thought, well, okay, they are groovy soca singers, or this is a reggae singer, or this guy only does pop, and then all of a sudden you hear R&B, you hear dancehall, you hear some kind of Latin vibes from singers who you never expected it from, or you thought that they were not, interested in those genres, and they blow up. They go in different directions because of that. But you find like the chutney market is just kind of, they really don't want to explore, and they don't want to take that leap of faith, so to speak, right? And then again, I've been working with ex-producer for 20 years. Me, I want to change, but maybe that's why you need to change, because have you grown to the point where you want to? Have you gone to different markets? Have you, expanded? You have to ask yourself that question.
Well, I think we also have to remember that, especially for frontline performers, being able to present a product to hundreds, sometimes thousands of people at a time is not an easy feat.
Yeah.
So these people have to be able to sell a product and be convincing enough to make people enjoy themselves and want to see you again. So in order to do that, you have to be really, really confident to do that. And a lot of times just doing that is like enough social battery for people for like the whole week. It's like when you do a performance, it's like, all right, okay, I don't want to see people again for the rest of the week until the next performance. I really, just need to take a break, or this is all the energy that I have to belt out to people on the whole. And then creative people on the whole, just remember that part, right? Creative people on the whole, a lot of the times, very much, secluded. They work by themselves. They do things on their own. If they write songs, they write it by themselves, or maybe with one, maybe two other close collaborators. And they would just work like that, and that's fine with them because they're comfortable like that, expressing themselves. Because sometimes what they sing about is very deep.
Right.
Whereas in the chutney markets, I don't know what if there are any like deep songs, but I mean, are there like deep songs, like super emotional songs in the chutney market, would you say?
I really wouldn't say deep. I mean, there'll be one or two songs that touch the emotions of people because of their own personal, story at home or within their village or whatever it is. Yes, right. it might touch them in that same way as the artist. But to say deep, I mean, the only deep thing that happens within our industry is when, when some of the artists sing the covers and they sing the love songs, the ballads. So, you get that kind of emotion. But I really can't recall any chutney that deep, in terms of deep feelings, any kind of feeling.
And again, I'm not trying to be insensitive to people, but taking those Bollywood songs and saying that you are deep because you sing it over, that's not you. That's not your emotion. That's not yours. Okay? Just get that through your head. It's not yours.
Like my tune, my tune.
No. If you want to sing it over, okay. Let's just jump on that for a moment, right? Because it will be all through this podcast, every single episode, right? When you sing those things, I mean, I think that the whole idea came from people doing live performances and realizing that it's a really good idea to capture what they do live in a recording and let people have the opportunity to replay it.
Right.
Which is interesting and it's fun in a way. And remember back in the day, you'd have certain bands and artists doing medleys, like an album medley, and they do a whole set of stuff. Not only chutney, but soca and dancehall and some pop and stuff like that, right? But then the whole Bolani thing started and everybody, well, almost everybody started to cover these songs, and it's like a big thing now, but then it has become a big problem. And I'm not sure that a lot of people understand the problem that it is. It's that it's keeping the industry here and we satisfying these people here. When there are all of these other people here that are still there, and if you just come up with a good song, then you could have all these fans. But some people are just so comfortable just staying right there and saying, yes, this is my barrel. These are all the other crabs around. We good? Yeah? All right, cool. We're making noise inside here, right?
Yeah.
We good right here. But then, as I was mentioning before, Big Daddy, is that I think people like it like that.
Yeah,
I honestly think people like it like that because no set of big eyes spying on you or wondering what you're doing or what you wear to the grocery yesterday or what you put on in the market or no big set of spies or anything doing no big set of intrusion into your privacy and private life. There's nothing like that happening because you are basically kind of blocking it out because of how you run yourself as an artist. And that is so strange because it's very convenient to you, but then when I hear people saying, oh, well, I don't understand why we're not reaching here and we're supposed to be here and that kind of thing. I think I basically answered that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And that is why coming straight back to the whole workshop thing, that's that little small circle that you talk about is also, it also applies when you initially have an idea and you initially go to the parlor down the road and you initially go to your parents and you go to your brother and your sister and your best friend. You like it? You really like it? Yeah, all right, cool. I'll go in with it. Now, that to me, I mean, again, we talk about the circle and we talking about your network and we talking about the people around you. You go into a very minuscule section of the society, or if you want to call it that, and you good. That is your acid test. Okay, yes, they pass it, they like it, and it just every time you have a song, that is how you judge your song is good, and that's where the workshop comes in. That is where the writers of some experience, producers with experience, and musicians and everybody will tell you, okay, try something else, try something a little different, expand a little more, think of different topics, think of different ideas, think of a different angle of approaching the song, try this riff or that riff or do these keys in this way. Yes, you normally use dhola, candantal and harmonium. Maybe if we try some other, I mean, I'm not the expert in it, some other kick and some other this and some other that, and see how it sounds, try it that way. You might actually now start to think, well, all right, yeah, I really need to, I need to have a product out there that is very dynamic and not just what I've been doing for the last 10, 15, 20 years and just staying at one particular level. So the workshop will be very, very helpful for the artists, especially the younger ones coming up.
Right. So again, we could have a chutney workshop where we could have different facilities that are available to artists and people who are involved in the industry for chutney specifically, because why I believe that a chutney center workshop, or why we would think it would work also, is I think because of the language. Because a lot of people sing in English, right? Because English is our primary language. But then the Bollywood music that we listen to is primarily Hindi. And we like the sound of it. We like different artists, whether it be Jubin or Arijit Singh or Shreya Ghoshal or something like that. Okay, we love their voices. We love the way that they sing. We love how they bring across the song and they tell their story in a different language. And most of the time, we don't even understand what's going on. We just really like it. If we dig as deep or as far going as trying to figure out what they're saying, yes, that will be pretty cool and that's great, right? But then that whole language, I wouldn't call it a barrier, but the language opportunity now is where the chutney artists, because remember, a lot of traditional chutney is done, not in English. You'll have some in English, you'll have some in Hindi or something, or in something else, I don't know.
Bhojpuri.
Right.
Yeah.
So with the language aspect now, if we get some people who are either highly decorated when it comes to the languages or qualified, and are able to share different things or give pointers, that'll be super cool. So like a chutney workshop from the language perspective alone will be a huge asset to a performer and even a writer or somebody else who just wants to be in parts of the industry. Let's say even like a dance group now. Let's say here's another idea, because we just about ideas and solutions and things, right? So let's say if there's a dance group that really believes in themselves and they feel as though they have something to showcase, and they don't know anything about Hindi. I'm just saying, right? Let's say if there's a dance group and they don't know nothing about Hindi or Bhojpuri, right? And they realize that they learn a word in the workshop. And then they take that word now and they have their own show. And they use that word to name their show.
Precisely.
Let's say, give me a word, Big Daddy.
Maybe
Concert.
One concert.
Yeah, concert egg.
Concert egg. Next year, look up for concert do.
Concert do.
And after that, concert teen.
Concert. So right, so we have concert egg, right?
Like let's say word nach. Nach means dance, right?
Right.
So nach, if they know that nach is dance, maybe the whole theme could be something. Well, and the bigger picture for dance. I know what you're saying. I know exactly where you're going.
Right. So the name of the concert could be Dance, Natch, Dance.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just see. Again, ideas. So one of the big or small dance groups in the country or wherever in the Caribbean or wherever in the world, you could take this idea now and say, right, we have a concert called Dance, Natch, Dance. And you are primarily the focus of it. You went to dance, let's say, 10 or 12 songs or mixes that you want to do, and sprinkled in between there, you have an artist or another dance group might come in and join you, because that also helps, because you'll have your fans and that other dance group will have their fans. And when you have a collaboration like that, is like twice as many fans potentially.
Yeah.
So then you get a much bigger market to showcase your stuff too. And then your social media start blowing up, and then you start to see randoms, but also other really cool people who will come into the fray now and start commenting on your videos, and then you start building your fan base, and you just keep building from there, and then you get to concert dough.
Event dough.
Event dough, right? And then they move forward from there. So look at that. Just by maybe attending a chutney music workshop, you could get these kind of ideas, or you could just listen and watch the curry stew. So if it does happen, we said it here, but it's not about us really, getting praise or anything fit. It's just that we need people with ideas to come up and do something good. But first of all, we need good music. We have the ideas, between me and you, Big Daddy, we have a lot of ideas. It's almost endless. But we aren't the only ones with the ideas. There are other people who probably have good ideas, but we cannot use the ideas because we need good music for it.
Right.
So if you don't have the music, you don't have anything.
Right.
So a lot of dance groups will tell you that without the music, they have nothing to dance to. So if we have good music and good presentations, then we could have good ways of selling the art form. So that's as plain and as simple as I could say it. But yeah, look at that. Basically, we spoke about a chutney music workshop. Because there are other music workshops. We'll talk about that in 1 minute. Then we could have different events and stuff happening in the calendar, not only locally, but the Caribbean calendar. You can say, okay, we're going to Tobago for this dance, Natch Dance or whatever thing, because it's going to be held in a new location or something like that. So all of those things could happen. So yeah. So just by having some sort of workshop, we are thinking that a lot of good could come out from it. Now, I will share that I was part of a local kind of workshop with a few artists before. And now I'm saying a few by saying yes, a few. It was really, really, I don't think there was more than 20 people inside of that room. And I was one of them. And I'm not an artist, right? I'm just somebody in the industry. But when you have something like that and you only have a few people that are available to be present or attend, then it really shows where people are. Because I mean, yeah, all right, well, some people have to work, or you have busy lives, you have to pick up kids from school, or wherever, but there must be some sort of interest in your career, and not just wait until there's a competition
Yep.
or carnival or something to say, all right, yeah, we're going to do for this. Whereas a real artist does not wait until something happens to make songs for it. Now, some people say, oh, but we're going to say about carnival. Well, that kind of happens there too. But at the same time, there are many carnivals all around the Caribbean and North America and in Europe and in England that happen. So where are all of the chutney festivals around the world?
Yep.
Where are those festivals? How many are they? Is it getting bigger? Is it getting smaller? Is it expanding? Is it contracting? We really would like to know, because we can't know everything. So if you know something that we don't know, where the music is reaching somewhere or it's expanding in a big way somewhere else, let us know and we'll gladly highlight it. But at the same time, I'm not seeing any big collaborations happening. I'm not seeing any Indian movie stars on their social media playing a chutney song and dancing to it. I don't know. Maybe it happened. I don't know. But I didn't hear about it. So let us know if you heard that or have seen that, or are you too scared? Are the artists too scared to say, all right, I don't want to reach too bigger, because then the Indian record labels will start to scan our YouTube page and realize we did our covers, right? So imagine if that happens now. Let's just jump into that part of it, right? So I hear the sound effects, Big Daddy. Let's just say if some of these record labels, let's just say some record labels in India, or any that primarily promotes Indian or Bollywood music or just Indian music, if they start scanning some YouTube channels, man, some people's careers are over, you know.
Yeah.
Done. Done. Because then what you'll have, and then what you're going to do, you're going to wait until, oh shucks, I should not do that. I spend so much of thousands of dollars on my music video and I get pulled along, boy. Oh gosh. Well, if you did it already, all right, you can't take it back. Okay. But I think that moving forward, you should really look at yourselves and look to see how you can expand yourself and stop depending and relying on one thing or one time of the year to make your bread and say, yeah, that's good enough. And then the rest of the year, that's it. But then now the problem is that you'll come afterwards and say, yeah, well, I don't know why this one's happening, or I don't know why, and how come you're getting funding for this, or how come this. I don't think I need to answer any further.
No, but all of that you're saying there is on there. You hit the nail real hard on its head, right? But we also want to. I think we also need to mention there are a lot of younger ones out there who are somewhat afraid to get in there. Okay, on two hands, there's some of them afraid to get in the industry for whatever reason, and they need that encouragement. You know, like a workshop will give them encouragement as to, you know, if you want to be a singer, you want to be a musician, you want to write for artists, you feel you have a good, you know, you have a knack for writing, you have no knowledge about any instruments, but you want to learn, you want to get into the instruments. These workshops will help some of the younger ones as well get into the industry, and hopefully, since they will be on the right track with the right people, they will get into the industry properly and do the right thing, or at least try to follow the right path and not go down the road that some of the other artists have been doing for years and currently doing, and still want to do for the rest of their life. So I think the workshop is so very important for both the young upcoming artists and those that not even in the industry, don't want to get in the industry, the veterans. And I must also say one more thing. I think that we've heard a lot. Well, I have heard a lot of talk from maybe 4 or 5 different people in the industry who stand to benefit really a lot from these workshops, who have spoken about workshops before, and never really executed any workshop. They have spoken to me personally saying that, yes, we will do workshops, we will have them, we will do this, we will do that, we will train the artists. Maybe even not speaking about workshops in that sense, but saying that we will do certain things to help out the artists, musicians, writers, etc., etc. And nothing. And then they go about, a lot of them doing their promotions, doing their events, and they just go about and just expecting everything to improve and get better, and we've actually gone in the reverse in many cases. And then again, as you say, they wonder, well, why this ain't happening? Why this ain't happening for me? So it's not only not happening for the artists and the musicians and the writers and whoever, but it's happening for promoters and the other individuals who are trying to push the culture in a certain way. It's been stagnant. It's just been stagnant.
Well, how about, do we even need to direct a chutney workshop at experienced artists? Let's just say if you just direct something at younger ones, like primarily,
You're right.
and say, all right, this is for secondary school kids or people in university or whatever. Let's just say secondary school. And just say, okay, this is a chutney workshop. This is how you do it. And you just have a producer showing you how to make the music. You have a musician showing you how to play this. Somebody might roll him with a sitar and say, right here, so yeah, you might not really hear a sitar in a chutney, but right, well, it's here, so
yeah,
man to play it, right?
Yeah.
And then or a woman, and then you have a songwriter that'll teach you how to write Hindi or Bhojpuri lyrics. And then you have a person, a dolak, will teach you how to play a dolak, like the basics of dolaking. And then go like that. Instead of thinking that you need to teach people who are already established or in the industry at some level or the other how to fix themselves. So instead of thinking we have to fix people, how about if we start creating from the start what should be out there as quality wise?
I think
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying how we could approach the music on the whole, because it's how you'd approach any type of music. Let's say if you are writing country music, you could go to a country music workshop and have somebody say, right, well, this is how you play this instrument. And then you write songs like this. Because remember, the different genres of music will reach different types of people. So let's say Bollywood music, a lot of it's, from way back when up till now, will primarily deal with the heartstrings and the emotions, and they kind of get you emotional. And when you start to read the subtitles and you realize what they're singing about is like, yeah. I don't think even my English writer could write lyrics so hard, so you'll be interested to see what would happen in a case like that. So let's just say that we have a workshop for secondary school students, and we just started and say the chutney music workshop for secondary students, right? So that's another idea there, right? Instead of thinking that we need to fix people, leave them how they are, right?
God. You're giving them no hope.
No, I'm not saying that, okay, just go down, The thing is that, no, what will happen is that those young people are going to come up with real good stuff, right? Because they will not be poisoned and infiltrated by low standards of just saying, hey, I hear this song on radio. I wonder if we could take that. I don't need to finish, right? But, instead of approaching music like that, I had to stop. Right? Some people will get antsy about it, but that is all. But if we just approach it from the right perspective and see, right, let's create something. Create, right? Singing over people's stuff is not creating. It's just nuts, right? Big Daddy, I think we are the only people out here speaking this and saying these things so openly. Because it is what it is. The whole reason that we started this podcast is because people keep telling us these things. So we are just kind of like the mouthpiece, but we agree, and we agree also to bring it forward so that we could have the intention of getting people to listen and not just do what we say, but try to improve something.
Yeah.
Realize what are the things that need to be addressed and just address it. So instead of trying to make people change themselves, we could leave them alone. And then when people start making extremely good music, they will start teaching the other ones, the already established ones, this is how it's done, and this is how it could be done. And we are leading, not you. Basically.
Yeah, for real. For real. I think you really again hit the nail on the head, because many of the ones who've been in the industry for years, the so-called veterans, they really don't want to change it. I mean, we speak with them individually, collectively as a body, through the media houses, through other mediums, and it has remained the same over decades.
We hear from some of them who we are close with, that, okay, yeah, boy, this one doing this and it really bad, and this one is this and whatever. Okay, how about let's just, for the rest of the episode, the next 5 minutes or whatever, let's just forget about it. Let's forget about it, right? So the next thing now, the thing that got me really excited about this topic for the podcast was, let's just say we could have a secondary schools chutney workshop for everybody. Anybody who wants to participate, or just give it to everybody anyway. And if you want to take part in it or whatever, okay, you can do that. And then from that now, let's just say if somebody is or has the investments, a large enough investment, you could have a chutney music expo or a chutney music conference. So it does not only rely on the music and the artists, but it relies and will be based on the culture. So anything that we sing about in chutney music that you associate with chutney music, let's say if you say, right, chutney music, I feel like, I don't know, eating polori or alupai or drinking this type of beverage or going this kind of place or wherever, we could all try to bring all of that in one place. So let's say you have chutney music. So you have a stage, of course, you have microphone and a small stage or whatever, or a big stage, whatever the size. You have a screen or whatever and lights. Okay, good. You could have performances at different parts of the festival.
Right.
And then on one side, you have like fashion. So you have people modeling in traditional and modern Indian clothing or chutney clothing. I don't know what you'll call it, right? I'm just saying that because it's basically coming off of, I mean, would I say Indian culture? I don't know.
Yeah, it's part of Indian culture, of course.
Right. So anything that is of that you would associate with chutney music, yeah, you could have that too. So let's say from what you would wear to a chutney fete, come right back. Right? So go from traditional and then you come all the way up to what you would wear to like a party or all inclusive or just a fete or something else. And then you could incorporate, let's say, like the food. You could have the polori and the and the alupai and the dal and rice or whatever. I'm just saying these things because that way someone does not need to like the music to want to attend.
Right.
You would just want to be in a place, in a space that has these elements that you may already, have a likeness for.
From a cultural standpoint, from an overall cultural standpoint.
Overall cultural standpoint. I mean, listen, some fellas would just want to go there just to be like, hey, you gotta have some real sweet woman in this thing. So, I mean, if you want to go for that, or, ladies want to go and see some guys there, okay, great. That's your reason. But on the whole chutney music culture is a thing. But it's a thing that is just not really hidden away, but it happens in small area, small circles. And if you could put that in a big venue now, and you have music, you have food, you have fashion, what else you could put in there?
Well, you said dance before.
Dance. Yeah. Yes. So dancers could have their own space. Not no high stage, something kind of low, not on the ground either. Something kind of low so you could see everything, you could see what they're doing. So when they go up to the stage, they don't have to climb up no big set of stage. You just have something kind of low where they're like right there with you, because I find a lot of dancers in these groups very short as well.
Yeah.
Right? So you have a nice little stage.
You can also have a space where, or a place where videos are shown over the years of all the chutney songs and whatever other songs that fit into the chutney category. You know, you're showing the evolution of the videos and how it's been done. And of course, again, if you want to know, you know, how to maybe change it up a little bit, you speak to the editors and the producers and that kind of thing. So you don't just throw just any dancer in any video kind of thing, right? So you see the evolution.
gosh.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what's going on with that.
The dance in the video. I mean, just to touch it for 10 seconds, why are there like random Indian dancers in these music videos? Is it that that's the only place that they belong, or do they have to be there to be considered a chutney song? It's like they just appear. It's like the song going on a minute past, and then all of a sudden you just see somebody, and it's like,
yeah.
where that come out from?
The song could be about a barahi and something to do with the child and something that's happening and some sort of thing that takes place in terms of an official part of some ceremony, and all of a sudden you see three dancers appear out of nowhere and they dance into a Bollywood sequence in a chutney song. You know what I mean? It's like, what? What are you doing?
I feel a pain there, boy.
I mean, we don't want to offend no dancers or anything, but really and truly, that is what we see in.
My thing is not about offending the dancers, you know. It's about dancers. You are supposed to hold a higher stage than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. People supposed to be dancing to you, and you're supposed to be dancing to something that's really good. So have a bigger stage. I say dance groups should have their own music videos.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Somebody in the group must be good at music, or let them learn Ableton or something and put together some beats and pop a little dance and do that.
Talk about the music editing for most of the dance groups. So good.
I know it's not good for the most parts. I'll be honest, it's not good. I've been to shows that the music editing is really, really not good. I've been to events where the editing is not good at all. The music volume here, then the next volume here, the next one here. I go in low, and when you feel as though the DJ try to turn it up, then the next volume go down slow. I'm really sorry, but that's honestly what happens. And some of you who are looking at this may feel as though, oh, how they gonna say that? Well, you know what? A lot of people are thinking it, but they probably don't want to tell you. So we will say it for them because we are here.
Yeah.
Right? So we will see. Again, it's not about offending anybody. It's about showing you all what is going on, how people think about you, the reality of the situation, as far as we have experienced it. So you may have a different experience with it. Share it with us. We welcome it.
Yep.
So feel free, wherever you're seeing this, to leave a comment. Let us know what your experience is with the chutney music. Let us know what you think about the ideas for having a chutney music workshop for either experienced people, we don't know how well that will do, or put it to the schools. Direct it at people who have just completed CSEC or CAPE or wherever. Let them find something to do and say, right, this is for you. And if we could get some ministry assistance or some sponsor to come, you could get it done for free. But then, you know, we like freeness, but then that's a whole culture by itself, because when people realize there's no cost attached to it, then they feel as though, oh, well, it have that there. But when people start paying for things, then they realize, okay, I need to get something out of this. So I say charge people $5 or $10. Let them know, all right, and I need to sacrifice $2 today to be able to attend this thing.
And here, what? Think of a good name. Me and Richard and I have a good name. Decimo and I have a real good name. But
what do you think we could call that?
You think of a name. You think of a name. I'm not saying it.
The chutney.
Oh, God.
What, boy?
The chutney village. Chutney village.
Where's Hindi for village?
I'm not going to say it. Me not say it, bye. Me not say it.
Oh gosh, nah. We can't be scared about things, man. No.
But it would be a good name.
It would be a good name, but please don't actually do that. Yeah, for all those who probably get figured out what we're talking about, well, yeah, don't go with that name. But yeah, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. More than.
All right. More than. All
Yeah.
right. So that's it for us for this episode.
Mhm.
I think we got a lot out. But I think that this has been the episode where we've gotten out, I think, the biggest and best ideas ever.
Yeah.
These are actual business ideas people could jump on. If people
Yeah.
want to collaborate with us and say, yeah, if you all have ideas how to execute this, help us with it and let's go forward with it. I'm all for that,
Yeah. Let me do it. Because
Let's do it.
we need it. We really, really need it. Bad. Real bad.
We need it. You all cannot expect to just come one point of the year for one thing and make music for that. That's not
Yeah.
being an artist.
Nope.
It's
Never.
not. An artist is a person who is willing to express themselves.
Yeah. One thing
And-
should never influence you. Not
Yeah,
in anything.
nothing.
Not in any part of your life. One thing is the overall influencer. All right, I'm doing my tune because of X or because of Y. No. Please.
Yeah, well, you have my sentiments about it.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you all for watching. I'm Richard DeSimo.
And
We'll
I
see you
am
next time.
Big Daddy. Check you out soon. Later.
All right, Anting. Eh?
Okay, I think. Village.
So we see it? We see it?
No. Village. The Chutney Village.
We see it? You sure?
No,
see it,
we just saying
Come
that.
on, let me see
No. No.